Okay, hey, welcome. This is another online discussion. I'm Matt Puckett. I'm the Executive Director of the Florida Police Benevolent Association. I'm here with Hal Johnson, PBA's General Counsel, and Ken Kopczynski, who is the Director of Research. And Hal was at the Officer Discipline Penalty Guidelines Task Force, which took place last week, January 17th. And Hal's going to give us an update on some of the discussion involving David usage. And I want to turn it over to Hal and let Hal explain that.
Thank you, Matt. First off, just so you'll know, the Guidelines Task Force meets every other year to look at the administrative rules relating to law enforcement officer certification and, unfortunately, decertification if it finds that you lack good moral character. What has occurred over about the last 9 months is there is a increasing concern on the part of the Commission and some of the law enforcement agencies out there with respect to the improper use of David and the NCIC, FCIC databases. And recently there has been a trend to bring these cases forward to the probable cause panels and to the commissions and seek to discipline officers for violation of David. There was extensive discussion, and I want to emphasize that there was a lot of discussion about what type of standards should it be imposed on officers as it related to accessing David for non-law enforcement purposes. And that's what the point is. They're very, very concerned about that, and they are trying both on the local level, that means your law enforcement agency, to stop this accessing. And also on the commission level, they're starting to look increasingly closer at those violations and trying to come up with a standard for purposes of disciplining officers who are accessing David for non-law enforcement purposes. Now, after about 2 hours of discussion, the task force was still not satisfied that it had got it right as far as those types of cases which would be presented to the commission, and those types of cases that would not be presented to the commission for disciplinary action. I think what is important here is there's 2 points. Number one, you need to be very, very careful that if you are accessing David or NCIC or FCIC, that you have documented the law enforcement purpose for which you are accessing David. Second, there was a presentation by the General Counsel for the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, who pointed out that there exists a federal law which is increasingly coming into use, known as the Driver's Privacy Protection Act. And that is a federal law, and what it provides for is, once again, it provides that it is improper to access a David for other than law enforcement use. I think there's 14 reasons, but the only one that would be involved for the officers would be legitimate law enforcement purposes, and that they have within their own system recognized abuses, and it is their intent to further audit the programs and determine what abuses are going on. Now, how does this affect you? Unfortunately, the federal law as drafted provides for a minimum penalty called liquidated damages, or a penalty of $2,500 per improper access. That means if you utilize it twice, then there is a chance that you will be responsible for $5,000 worth of damages. But certainly if you access it once, you are on the hook for essentially $2,500, give or take some costs and attorney's fees that also go along with that. So these are very serious matters, and I know the sheriff of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office had said that he had put out a very strict memo to all his officers saying, knock it off. If you are accessing this for other than law enforcement purposes and you can't document your purpose, then he will look at taking increasingly severe punishment against you for such actions.
That sounds pretty costly, $2,500 a look. You know, how you have a lot of officers, and we've heard this at the probable cause hearings at Criminal Justice Standards and Training. It can get a little confusing what is considered a legitimate law enforcement purpose. You may be in your zone checking on the office or the people that live in your zone, trying to figure out, you know, who some of these folks are, and then you get caught up for what may be deemed as an illegal look. Was there any discussion by the commission on how to deal with something like that?
Well, I think that, I mean, there was a lot of discussion, and that's quite honestly why we could not come up with a good definition that satisfied the task force members as to how to define the access we're trying to encompass in this good moral character rule. So they decided essentially to let staff and organizations such as the PBA go back, work on the definition, and hopefully by August they would have something that they could present to the commission that would satisfy everybody. I mean, there was a whole gambit from curiosity gets you before the commission to, quite honestly, a feeling that you had to, you know, there had to be some ill intent when you access the information. Unfortunately, the federal law does not draw those distinctions, as the general counsel pointed out for the as the general counsel of highway patrol pointed out to the task force members, that curiosity would cost you $2,500, just like a bad reason for accessing the material would cost you $2,500.
Right. So again, I want to just kind of spitball some stuff here. I'm a law enforcement officer. I have access. I look up, say, my cousin, myself, my spouse. All of that's going to get me in trouble, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And has the commission decided that they can audit agencies to see if David is being inappropriately used? Has the commission taken any of those actions on their own without something being forwarded to them by the agency?
Not to my knowledge. Generally, they are counting on the local agencies to do the auditing. Although I have to say, there was, as I said, the general counsel for highway safety and motor vehicles did allude to the fact that it may start looking into usage more than it has previously in determining whether the agencies are properly using data.
Okay. Interesting. And it can be costly. So your recommendation is have a documented, legitimate law enforcement purpose for accessing David.
Absolutely.
That's
I mean, I think that's the safest way to protect it. If you access David on, you know, January 25th at 2:01, I would either put in your notebook or in some manner put it on a computer, or, you know, better yet, if there's space for typing into the computer when you access the report, type in why you are accessing it and the law enforcement related purpose.
Sounds like very good advice. All right. Well, thanks, Tal.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
As always, stay safe out there.
Stay safe, guys. Take care.
Bye.